You've trained for hundreds of hours. You've done drills. You've watched football videos. You've played matches every week, and yet you're still making the same mistakes. Your first touch isn't improving. You still panic under pressure. You still lose possession in important moments. And the worst part, you don't know why. Because from your perspective, you're doing everything right. You're working hard, you're showing up, you're putting in the hours. So why are other players improving faster than you? Why do some footballers make huge jumps in performance while others stay at exactly the same level for years? The answer isn't talent, it isn't genetics, and it isn't because they train more. It's because most players make one training mistake that quietly kills improvement. A mistake so common that almost nobody notices it. And if you're making it, you could spend the next 12 months training without becoming much better than you are today. Let's talk about it. Problem reframe. Most footballers believe improvement comes from one thing: more training. So when progress slows down, they respond by doing more sessions, more drills, more touches, more running. But football improvement doesn't work like filling a bucket with water. It's not about how much training you do. It's about how much useful information your brain and body learn from that training. Think about two players. Player A trains 2 hours every day. Player B trains 1 hour every day. Most people assume player A improves faster. Not necessarily. If player A repeats the same mistakes for 2 hours, they're simply getting better at performing mistakes. Meanwhile, if player B constantly identifies weaknesses, challenges themselves, and corrects errors, they'll improve faster despite training less. That's why some players plateau. Not because they stop training, because they stop learning. And that's where the real problem begins.
The training mistake keeping most players average is this: they're practicing what they're already comfortable doing. Read that again. Most players don't train to improve. They train to feel good. They repeat skills they already know. They use their stronger foot. They perform drills where success is almost guaranteed. They avoid situations that expose weaknesses. Why? Because failure feels uncomfortable, but improvement lives inside discomfort. Think about your last training session. Did you struggle? Did you make mistakes? Did you feel challenged? Or did you spend most of the session doing things you already knew how to do? Because if training feels easy all the time, that's a warning sign. Football matches aren't comfortable. They're chaotic, fast, unpredictable, pressure-filled. If your training doesn't resemble those demands, don't be surprised when your match performance stays the same. The players who improve fastest aren't the ones who avoid mistakes. They're the ones who use mistakes as information. And that's the first major shift. Lesson 1. Stop chasing repetitions, start chasing adaptation. A lot of footballers obsess over numbers: 1,000 touches, 500 passes, 100 shots. And repetition is important, but repetition alone isn't enough. Imagine juggling a ball. If you can already do 50 juggles comfortably, doing another 500 juggles every day won't dramatically improve your match performance. Your body has already adapted. The challenge is gone. And when challenge disappears, growth slows down. Elite players constantly Increase difficulty. They add pressure, add decision-making, add movement, add uncertainty. Instead of asking, how many reps did I do? Ask, how many times was I forced to adapt? Because adaptation creates improvement, not comfort. A useful rule: if you can perform a drill perfectly every single time, the drill might be too easy. Growth happens at the edge of your current ability, not far below it. Lesson 2. Train decisions, not just skills. Here's another reason players stop improving. They separate technique from football. They spend hours practicing skills in isolation, then wonder why those skills disappear in matches. Because football isn't just execution, it's decision-making. A perfect pass means nothing if it's played to the wrong teammate. A great first touch means nothing if it moves you into danger. A beautiful skill move means nothing if the timing is wrong. Football is a thinking game disguised as a physical game. That's why two players with similar technical ability can look completely different on the pitch. One sees solutions, the other sees problems. When training, ask yourself, what decision am I practicing? Not just what skill am I practicing? For example, instead of endlessly shooting from the same position, practice recognizing when to shoot, when to pass, when to carry the ball, when to recycle possession. Because matches reward decision quality more than technical perfection. And the sooner you train your brain alongside your feet, the faster you'll improve. Lesson 3. Your weaknesses should dominate your training. Most players organize training backwards. They spend 80% of their time on strengths and 20% on weaknesses. It should often be the opposite. Let's say you're a winger. Your right foot is strong. Your left foot is weak. In matches, defenders quickly notice. Now your game becomes predictable. Every attack becomes easier to stop. The weakness doesn't just affect one action. It affects every decision you make. That's why weaknesses are leverage points. Small improvements create huge results. The problem? Working on weaknesses feels frustrating. Your performance temporarily drops. Mistakes increase. Confidence gets challenged. But that's exactly why growth happens there. The players who improve fastest spend more time confronting limitations than protecting their ego. Ask yourself, if a coach watched me play tomorrow, what weakness would become obvious within 5 minutes? That's probably where your next breakthrough is hiding. Lesson 4. Train under pressure or stay the same. Have you ever looked incredible in training, then average in matches? There's a reason. Pressure changes everything. Your touch changes, your decisions change, your awareness changes, your confidence changes. Yet many players train in environments with almost no pressure, no defenders, no time limits, no consequences, no competition. Then match day arrives. Suddenly everything speeds up and their performance collapses. Football ability isn't what you can do when conditions are perfect. It's what you can do when conditions are difficult. Start adding pressure to training. Set time limits. Compete against teammates. Use smaller spaces. Force quicker decisions. Limit touches. Create consequences for mistakes, because pressure exposes reality, and reality is where improvement happens. The goal isn't to look good in training. The goal is to perform when the game becomes uncomfortable. Lesson 5. Review is the most underrated training tool. Here's something most players never do. They finish training, go home, and immediately move on. No reflection, no analysis, no learning. Imagine reading a book without remembering any of it. That's how many players train. They experience sessions, but never extract lessons. After training, ask yourself 3 questions. What did I do well? What did I struggle with? What should I focus on next session? Simple, but powerful. Even better if you record matches or training. The camera sees things your emotions don't. You might discover that your positioning is poor.
Your scanning is inconsistent. Your body shape limits passing options. These aren't always technical problems. They're awareness problems. And awareness creates improvement. The players who learn fastest aren't the most talented. They're the most observant. Practical application. So what does all this look like in real life? Let's say you're training 4 times a week. Instead of repeating random drills, structure sessions intentionally. Session 1, target a major weakness. Session 2, focus on decision-making under pressure. Session 3, game realistic scenarios. Session 4, review, refine, and challenge specific mistakes. After every session, write down 1 lesson. After every match, identify 1 thing to improve. Small adjustments compound. Most players search for dramatic breakthroughs, but football improvement usually comes from consistent corrections. 1 better decision, 1 better scan, 1 better first touch, 1 better movement, repeated hundreds of times. That's how average players become dangerous players. Not overnight, but inevitably. Identity level close. The truth is, your future level isn't determined by how hard you're willing to work. Thousands of players work hard. What separates improving players from stuck players is how they respond to mistakes. One player sees mistakes as proof they're not good enough. Another sees mistakes as clues, information, feedback, a map showing exactly what needs improvement. The first player protects their comfort. The second player builds their future. And over time, the gap becomes massive. So the next time training feels difficult, good.
The next time you struggle, good. The next time your weaknesses get exposed, good. Because that's not a sign you're failing. It's a sign you're finally training in a way that creates growth. Stop chasing comfortable sessions. Stop chasing perfect drills. Stop chasing the feeling of being good. Start chasing improvement. Because football doesn't reward the player who practices the most. It rewards the player who learns the fastest. If you do that consistently, you won't stay average for long. And if you found value in this video, subscribe for more football psychology, performance, and development content designed to help serious players improve faster than the competition. See you in the next one.